Hello guys and welcome to another video, and yesterday we actually received the long-awaited 2020 gem information for Trial of the Ancestors, and most of these new gems look really good actually. There's some great numbers here, but this video is going to be specifically a bit of a deep dive on the Flamewood totem support. And here is the level 20 gem information with 20% quality. It's the Flamewood support, which provides the Avenging Flame trigger ability. There's possibly going to be some interesting alternative quality stats here, but since we don't know what they're going to be, let's just focus on what we have for now. So firstly, what exactly does Flamewood support do? This support gem will support a totem skill, and it will grant a trigger spell, Avenging Flame, to the totem. The totem will trigger Avenging Flame when it is hit by an enemy, and this ability has a 1 second cast time and a 1 second cooldown. This is likely to be independent on a per totem basis. The Avenging Flame ability will launch a projectile up into the air, which will then target the enemy which hit the totem, and it will come down and explode at the location for area damage. It deals damage based on the triggering totem's maximum life. That's 137% of maximum life as base fire damage on a level 20 gem. So, two things are immediately apparent on reading this gem information. Firstly, this ability fires a projectile, which means it can likely benefit from added projectiles. Secondly, this ability deals damage based on totem life, which is very important, as scaling totem life will become your main damage source. We'll get to that shortly. Let's first discuss the idea of additional projectiles, because I think it's quite easy to dismiss this ability immediately as just being a skill to be used for Ignite, since it will have a potentially large base fire hit. But actually, going the hit-based route might be quite lucrative, since additional projectiles may shotgun enemies. We don't have information if this will be the case just yet, but if this skill works anything like Explosive Concoction, for example, which throws a projectile which explodes for area damage, and can overlap and shotgun with multiple projectiles, then this might just be a thing. In the case that Avenging Flame can shotgun, additional projectiles become an insane damage multiplier for hit-based builds. For example, lesser multiple projectiles will be a 182% more damage multiplier at gem level 20, while greater multiple projectiles will be a 270% more damage multiplier. There's even the unique dual Rain of Splinters as well, which would be quite ridiculous. For this reason, I kind of expect that this won't be the case and the ability won't be able to shotgun, but it is something to note and something to look out for once we actually get into game to be able to test this. If it is indeed the case that the ability can shotgun, the hit route would probably want to go for crit, and with Avenging Flame only having a 5% base crit, the returning Sanctum exclusive unique Sandstorm Visage might help a lot in this case. Personally, I'm hopeful that the ability will be able to shotgun because it will open up options for hit-based builds, because I'm not confident in a hit-based build without it, largely due to the very long base cast time and the built-in cooldown. But it's possible that you can work around that. Alright, now let's discuss the damage component. On a level 20 gem, Avenging Flame will deal 137% of a totem's maximum life as base fire damage. That has the potential to be quite a huge amount depending on the totem which is being used. So let's take a look at the options. My initial impression of this gem back before the gem info was released is that it would have a fixed spell damage value and not scale in any way with totem life, but I was wrong here of course. My idea was to use a spell totem and then try to double dip all of the supports, to affect both the spell totem's ability and the Flamewood support ability. Whilst this may still be a thing for hit-based builds, this is going to be a bad route to go for Ignite. A level 20 spell totem has 1478 life, which is very low. There's a total of 130% increased totem life on the skill tree, which is split between the Ironwood cluster at the bottom and the Primal Manifestation cluster up near Ancestral Bond. And this will bring that totem life up to 3,399, which is still quite low. At a gem level 20 Flamewood support, this would be a base hit of 4,656 fire damage. So what other options are there? Well, Shockwave Totem has the same life scaling as Spell Totem. Holy Flame Totem has a bit more life at gem level 20. With the 130% increased totem life from the passive tree, it has 4,078 life, which will provide a base hit of 5,586 fire damage, which is better. There's also Searing Bond, which has the same base life as the Spell Totem, and even though it has totem life as a gem quality stat, it still has a pretty low amount of totem life. Meanwhile, Devouring Totem, Rejuvenation Totem, and Decoy Totem all scale the same life totals at gem level 20, but both Decoy Totem and Devouring Totem also have totem life as gem quality, and these, combined with the 130% totem life from the passive tree, have 5,780 life. So that would provide a base hit of 7,918 fire damage with a level 20 Flamewood support, which is beginning to be quite considerable. But do keep in mind that when compared to another damage ability, you're missing out on a gem link because you'd be using a main skill Decoy Totem with Flamewood support, so you'd only have room for another 4 support gems in the 6 link. Speaking of Decoy Totem, this would allow you to forego the Chieftain Ascendancy since it has built-in Taunt. If you're not using Decoy, you'd likely need to use Chieftain that has the new notable that has Totem Taunt, because the Totem Taunt Mastery was removed from the Totem Masteries. However, Decoy Totem does have a cooldown. Now, whilst Rejuvenation Totem doesn't have totem life quality, it does have a Vaal version, Vaal Rejuvenation Totem, which has a lot more life. At gem level 20 with the 130% increased totem life from the passive skill tree, Vaal Rejuvenation Totem has 6,986 life, which would provide a base hit of 9,570 fire damage on a level 20 Flamewood support. This one has its own drawbacks though, as it's a one-use 50 soul cost ability, and it only lasts 4 seconds, and has a ridiculous 12-second soul gain prevention. Modifiers to totem duration will unfortunately also scale the soul gain prevention too, so you won't be able to use this one very often. But there is one last option, the secret source so to speak, and this one is overlooked because of the pure lack of synergy outside of totem life. And this one is completely and utterly ridiculous. Like, this alone will make Flamewood support viable, at least in an ignite capacity, to deal a lot of damage to a single target. And that's Vaal Ancestral Warchief. For some reason unknown to me, this totem just has ungodly amounts of life. At gem level 20, with the 130% increased totem life from the passive tree, Vaal Ancestral Warchief has 25,291 life. That's a base hit of 34,648 fire damage on a level 20 Flamewood gem, which is completely ridiculous. It gets better than that though, because Vaal Ancestral Warchief also has far superior gem stats to Vaal Rejuvenation Totem. It has a base duration of 6, which is 50% longer, and the soul gain prevention is 9 seconds, which is 25% shorter. And it's only a 20 soul cost Vaal ability, which can store 2 uses. But there's more than that, because Vaal Ancestral Totem also moves. It's a totem that just jumps towards enemies and hits them, which means it could theoretically improve clear speed by jumping ahead towards enemies, taunting them via the Chieftain's Arangohi notable, and triggering Avenging Flame. Now, there is of course a complete lack of synergy here, where you're now using Ancestral Warchief as your ability to trigger Avenging Flame. And do be mindful that Ancestral Warchief requires a melee weapon for use, which unfortunately excludes the use of bows, as this would have been a great way to scale gem levels and thus increase damage. This is probably going to be quite slow and painful for mapping, even with Ignite proliferation factored in, if you're just dropping Ancestral Warchief totems and waiting for Avenging Flame to proc. But interestingly, there's no reason why you can't clear with another ability entirely, and save this setup for bossing or more difficult targets such as stacked Essence rares. Since you don't need Ancestral Bond here, the additional totem limit doesn't provide anything, and if you're going the Ignite route, you only need to hit the Ignite once per interval of the Ignite duration. Remember that if you're playing with a large ignite, you can make use of the Defiled Forces Notable to refresh that ignite duration over and over again. It's worth mentioning that one of the best ways to scale damage in such a build would be gem levels for the totem, as this dramatically scales totem life. And, presumably, scaling gem levels for the Flamewood support gem too, which might be a bit more difficult, but might be quite lucrative as well. But some of the totems are difficult to scale in gem levels, like for example the Vaal ancestral warchief, which doesn't have many tags to be able to latch onto to scale gem levels. Now, I haven't got round to making any POBs for this gem just yet, but I just thought I'd do this video for a bit of a deep dive on how much damage this gem might do, since the Flamewood support really caught my attention when it was first announced, but it ended up being something I didn't really expect, to be honest. However, I do think it still has potential to be quite good in the right setup. I look forward to finding out if this ability can somehow shotgun enemies, as that would make it possibly quite good in a hit-based setup too. And that's it for this one. I'll likely be getting some more videos up for the other gems soon. Do you have any ideas for use of the Flamewood support? Let me know by commenting below. And thank you to my channel members, your support is greatly appreciated. If you're interested in supporting the growth of this channel, you can become a channel member too from as little as 99 pence per month. Find out more by clicking the join button below. And thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned and stay safe.